Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hey guys, my name is Mo. I will be refuting the claim about how marijuana can bring significant effects related to health and well-being. My opponent is arguing that the use of marijuana brings significant benefits to a person's health, but she also forgets to mention all of the physical and mental risks that come along with smoking pot. It is my opponent's belief that marijuana helps slow down cancer cells and it acts like a beneficial treatment to chronic illnesses. While that is true, many of us do not understand the harm that it does to humans' bodies. Many people think that just because it slows down cancer cells, that it doesn't cause cancer. But smoking weed may increase your odds of getting testicular cancer. Researchers at the University of Southern California found. In the study, men who had testicular germ cell tumors were more likely to report previously using marijuana than those who did not have the tumors. My opponent also spoke about how pot helps the body heal, forgetting to include all the side effects it has on users' health. According to research from the American Heart Association, after rats inhaled secondhand marijuana smoke for 1 minute, their arteries carried blood less efficiently for at least 90 minutes. While the effect is temporary for marijuana smoke, these temporary problems can turn into long-term problems if exposures occur often enough and may increase the chances of developing hardened and clogged arteries, said study author Matthew Springer, PhD. My opponent also proposed that weed helps with mental health disorders by saying that it helps lower anxiety and stress levels. And meanwhile, people who smoke weed are usually given the stereotype that they are chilled out and relaxed, but that may not reflect what's actually going on in their bodies. A Georgia State University study found that marijuana use drastically higher blood pressure. Marijuana triples a person's risk of death from hypertension, high blood pressure, compared to those who don't smoke weed. In one 2016 study, researchers found that marijuana users had significantly lower blood flow to the brain than healthy non-smokers. That low blood flow to different parts of the brain, the hippocampus in particular, could put pot smokers at higher risk for cognitive disorders like Alzheimer's. Marijuana use also hinders creativity, destroys brain cells, and impairs short memory. Marijuana will also most likely make you lazier and procrastinate more, which is true considering I did not start on this assignment since yesterday. Thank you.
All right, well, you attack the general benefits of marijuana by simply arguing that there are risks that go along with using marijuana. So there's not a lot of evidence that's used to challenge the claim about cancer. There's not any argument that suggests that the advocate's reasoning was problematic here. You simply have a counterclaim that presents a risk of cancer from people using marijuana, and I thought that was a pretty good argument. You had a study on that suggested that this is something that is a realistic issue, and I think that that's good, but I'm not exactly sure that it addresses the whole argument that the advocate is presenting about whatever benefits there might be to cancer. It would be hard to put it in context and make a comparative based on the evidence that you provided versus whatever they provided. On the body healing issue, I do think that you had some interesting arguments about side effects as well. You primarily focus on the circulatory system. You've got a study that talks about what happens with the rats who are exposed there and their potential problems there. other than the body healing, this negative side effect, there is again no discussion of what the advocate's active evidence was. So this is kind of a passive response, again, going for a counterclaim, but we don't have any way of measuring the impact of that. If this is an effect that's going to be so significant and occurs regularly for people, then maybe there is a problem. But if this is something that occurs only from long-term exposure, and long-term exposure isn't necessary for the body to heal for those other uses that the advocate's talking about, then maybe this isn't really a very strong answer to this. The mental health issue, you did, same sort of thing here. You don't deal with their evidence and reasoning. You basically have a counterclaim. There's some good information that suggests that there are hypertension issues here. There are potential brain function issues here. I think that you're a little bit closer here to having arguments that directly attack this point, although I don't remember what the advocates' mental health claims were. It does seem like there are some potential mental health issues that go along with using marijuana. And then you've got your own personal example, which I don't know that it helps your credibility, but, however you want to make the argument.